Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, you ever been guilty of this? God has called you to do something, and you attempt to do it on your own strength. Not seeking God's help at all, but you attempt to do something for God with your own strength. How does it turn out for you? Oftentimes, it doesn't turn out so well because you are relying on your own strength and not God's strength. You're going to see how that's played out today in the life of Moses. Moses was a person guilty of, he was called by God, to bring the people to save Israel. You'll see more even in chapter 3 where he's called to do that. But he tries to do this on his own, and it's like disastrous, okay? He has to, in this thing, in the story here, he really has to die to his way of doing things and then, go into hiding for a while, and then come back relying on God to do everything. It's not on his strength, it's on God's strength that he really lives out the rest of his life. So today, we're going to finish up chapter 2. Sometimes we're going to go through these books, the chapters in the book of Exodus rather quickly. So today we're actually finishing chapter 2 of Exodus. And we're going to be reading verses 11 through 25. So if you have your Bibles like I do, you can turn there, and we'll start in verse 11 and finish up the chapter. It says this: One day after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were. And he watched them at their hard labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. Looking this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out and saw two Hebrews fighting. He asked the one in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, what I did must have become known. Okay? Keep in mind here, Moses has been raised up as an Egyptian and trained in the Egyptians in school and so forth. Raised up to be in the family of Pharaoh here. But he also knows, all because of his training from his real mother, that he is a Hebrew. Okay? And naturally it hurts him to see the Hebrew people being enslaved. And so he tries to take matters into his own hand here by killing the guy that was beating the Hebrew. And now he's realizing, it wasn't so secret what I did. Obviously someone saw me because these guys are talking about it. Verse 15, when Pharaoh heard of this, he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian, where he sat down by a well. So he's on the run now. He's out of Egypt. His royal lifestyle is gone, and he's on the run. I don't know what he took with him, but probably not much because he's on the run here. Probably like what you could stuff in a backpack, small backpack. Verse 16. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. Some shepherds came along and drove them away, but Moses got up and came to the rescue and watered their flock. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early today?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." Let me stop there. It must have been like a regular occurrence to be harassed by the other shepherds, okay? Because it was a surprise to the father Reuel to see them home so early. He's like, "What are you home so early for?" And their response is, "Well, we weren't harassed today. There was a guy that came and rescued us and even watered our animals." And so you're going to see here, Reuel's pretty impressed. "And where is he?" Reuel asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him? Invite him here to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with the man, who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. Zipporah gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, saying, "I have become a foreigner in a foreign land." It's very significant what you name your children. And Moses names his child, "I'm a foreigner in a foreign land." Okay, this shows the huge turn he's had to name your child that. He was like he was trained up in the royal line in Pharaoh's household, and now he's on the run, and he names his child, I'm a foreigner in a foreign land. Huge change here. Verse 23, during that long period the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out. Their cry for help went out. Their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham and Isaac and with Jacob. Okay? And don't forget, they're crying out to this, and God goes, oh yeah, I forgot about my covenant. No, it's not like that at all. He knew good and well, but there was a time period that had to pass for all these things to happen. And so this is a way of saying that. The time has now come for his plan to take place. Verse 25, so God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. Very important verse. God looked on them and he was concerned about them. It wasn't just like now he was concerned about it. He had been concerned about them the whole time. But when he saw the suffering going on, really concerned. Okay? But the thing I want to point out here today is you can see Moses, he's trying to achieve God's will on his own power. Okay? And it's so disastrous that he goes and flees with nothing. Okay, he doesn't take a caravan of Egyptian workers and a whole entourage. No, he's fleeing on his own and goes to Midian, a faraway land there. And then he even names his son, I'm a foreigner in a foreign land. That's how serious it is. And you're going to see how God is changing Moses. God is changing Moses from being let me do it on my own person to let God do this. Okay, and you'll see that go on throughout Moses' life, where Moses is an instrument of God, and he just says something and God does the work. Okay, Moses doesn't have to do the work. God does the work. When those 10 plagues come, it's not Moses doing the work. He's saying these are going to happen, but it's God doing the work. All right, and so we shouldn't be guilty of that same thing where we're trying to do stuff on our own. Let God work those things out. Thank you for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Exodus. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.